in anticipation of Martin Luther King Day, which is tomorrow, as I call it, Disobey an Unjust Law Day. And I'm here with my guest, Abelardo. And welcome to the show, Abby. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Excellent. So, we're here to interview you about having disobeyed an unjust law or an illegitimate authority. Have you had any experiences like that?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happened?
Well, never did anything overtly that I actually did get in trouble for, except for like driving without inspection. Things I normally do is I normally carry concealed without a license because for some reason I can't get a license, but I still carry it with me because I think it's necessary to do.
Excellent. So, carrying unlicensed. Let's take a look at that. So you're in. Do you care to tell us which state you're in?
I'm in New Hampshire, which is apparently the easiest state to get a license in.
So in New Hampshire, one has to get a permission slip in order to carry a pistol concealed. Why do you think that's an unjust law?
Shouldn't have to ask permission to protect yourself from anybody.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. And what's more, does the New Hampshire Constitution have anything to say about that?
I don't remember the exact wording, but it says something about no restrictions on firearms. I can't honestly remember what it said because that wasn't necessarily a concern of mine when I started doing it.
Yeah. So, so what was your primary reason for disobeying that unjust law?
Initially, I wasn't going to, and I tried to get a permit, but the local police department kind of harassed me and gave me the runaround and stuff. And moving a couple of times and not wanting to update the address on my license because I didn't want to pay the money to do it, and I just decided not to get the license for the gun either anyway because they weren't going to give it to me because my addresses don't match up and such. So
I mean, you even have to notify them each time you change your residence?
Yes.
Is that right? That's just crazy. And you have to pay to update your address with them.
It's $50.
Oh, that's just pretty crazy. I applaud you. I at one point had a concealed carry permit in the jurisdiction of Pennsylvania. And after being attacked by some U.S. Marshals for taking their pictures, they went to the local sheriff and had mine revoked. So I'm with you there. I have no intentions of ever applying for one of those again. So you mentioned you also don't register your car. Is that right?
I once drove around unregistered for about half a year. The current car is registered just because I get pulled over a lot.
So why do you feel that the law that requires you to inform a state government about the existence of your car and your possession of it, why do you feel that one is unjust?
It's not just informing them that you have the car, which, considering that they're the ones with the guns, if it was just that, I might not even bother getting upset about it. But it's the taxes involved and having to do it every so often, and then they say your car has to meet their specifications on how it can run and how it can't run, and it just gets incredibly expensive.
Yeah. So do you think basically everybody all the time practically registers their car with some state government? Do you think that's a good practice in general?
No, I actually don't. I don't like them having that much information on me, and I don't like them preventing me from getting to and from work just because they want $300 every so often.
Yeah, I mean, for a low-income family, and there are plenty right now with this depression we're experiencing, that could break a family. And
it almost broke us last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
The car needed some repairs, but the repairs are getting delayed because the registration costs about $250, and the inspection sticker was another 40 plus additional repairs that weren't necessary. So Megan's family got involved and helped us out there. But if it wasn't because of that, I would have been walking quite a distance to work.
Yeah. Imagine that. All for the state, that, just for the state to get their little piece of the pie. Abby here, has to fork over the money and, abstain from getting the car possibly repaired, or he might have to walk in the dead of winter up in the north. I mean, that's pretty insane. And does the government really have any kind of authority to make people register their car with them? What do you think about that, Abby?
They don't have any legitimate authority, but they certainly have violent force that they're willing to dish out whenever they want to.
That's right. That's right. So, any other unjust laws that you have disobeyed, Abby? That you want to tell us about?
I used to record inside a jail when visiting people.
Nice.
Just because they just don't let us. And at the time it was really easy because at the time the iPhone wasn't able to video record, but you could still get it to video record. So I set it up so it would record with the screen off. And whenever anyone asked me if I was recording, I would say, "Oh, it's an iPhone. It doesn't record."
So why is it not allowed? Why do the people, the thugs who run these prisons, why don't they allow you to record, your conversations with people who are stuck there? Do you have any idea why?
I'm assuming it's some accountability for them. They don't want to be held accountable for things going on, and makes them feel more comfortable if there's less information getting out as to what's going on. Even if they aren't actually doing anything wrong at that particular moment, it just makes them feel comfortable that there's no one watching.
Yeah. I remember when Sam Dotson, the videographer up in Cheshire County, New Hampshire, Keene, when he was in jail, he was on a hunger strike there for almost 60 days. And there was something about a MRSA outbreak. Do you know what MRSA is?
Not really. I don't remember hearing about it.
It's some kind of I don't know if I think it's a bacteriological infection. It infects the skin, and it's highly resistant to traditional antibiotics, and it can be spread just by touching things or hands or whatever. Just by touch, it can be spread pretty easily. And so Sam, that was kind of hidden there, but Sam Dotson, the videographer, kind of got that message out, and I think it might have waited until he got out finally, until they let him go. But if more people disobeyed the unjust law of not recording their conversations, that information might have gotten out sooner, and the press could have covered it and done something about it. So
that would have been good.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that would have been good if they were able to cover it.
Yeah. And now there's a new jail in Keene, New Hampshire. Is that right?
Yep.
And I heard that when you meet with the prisoners there, it's not even face-to-face anymore. Is that right? How does it work?
From what I hear, you're in another room where they actually televise the prisoner to you. So you got to watch them through a TV screen.
Talk about dehumanizing. That's pretty crazy. So what are you going to do for Disobey an Unjust Law Day tomorrow, Abby? Anything special?
Haven't decided.
Okay.
My normal driving usually requires me to disobey some laws, so might just be normal.
It's hard not to disobey laws these days, right? I mean, how many laws do you think the average person might break in any given day?
A lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I know on my way to and from work, just the one-way trip, I was looking at the schedule of fees for each infraction that you make, and it's about $400 each way of just different laws broken.
Oh, jeez.
But some of them are just necessary just to get to where you need to go. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The fines are just out of control these days. You know, especially with the depression going on and whatnot. Not only individuals are hurting, but also state and local governments, because they can't print money like the federal government can, right?
Yep, but it really wouldn't bother me if the local governments went a little bankrupt. They might need it.
All right, well, I'm talking with Abby. He is, how would you describe yourself or what you do, Abby?
What do you mean?
Like, would you say you're an activist or just a regular guy, a regular dad, or what?
I'm a regular dad.
Okay.
I help out activists. I like to participate in stuff, but I don't really overtly do anything.
Excellent. Better to play it safe.
Trying to.
Yeah, it's certainly understandable. Well, I thank you very much for coming on Civil Disobedience TV with me, Abby, and I wish you a great evening and a happy Disobey an Unjust Law Day tomorrow.
You too, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.